Everyone, and welcome to the afternoon session for Universal Approach to Power-Based AAC in Education. This has been work that we've worked collaboratively with AssistiveWare for the last 4 years at Charlton Park Academy, where we've given all the young people an AAC device, and AssistiveWare have developed their software from the feedback that we've given them. But rather than talking too much about what we've done at Charlton Park Academy, we want to share with you what all the different companies are doing around this way of working in schools. And Abdi's going to share the work at Charlton and his work at Charlton first. So I'll hand over to Abdi.
Before I talk about my role in school, I want to say something that might make some people uncomfortable. Some augmentative and alternative communication users are being watched, helped and supported, but they are not always being truly heard. Support without expectation can still keep someone small. Kindness without belief can still become a cage, and inclusion without voice is not real inclusion. I'm not saying that to attack anyone, I am saying it because I have lived it. I know what it feels like when people look at your body and make decisions about your mind. I know what it feels like when people speak around you instead of to you. I know what it feels like when people assume silence means lack of intelligence. That is why I care so much about this work, because AAC is not a tool, AAC is a voice. And if we do not treat AAC as a voice, we limit identity, confidence and futures. Every week, I work with around 85 augmentative and alternative communication users and their staff. So when I speak about AAC, I am speaking as an AAC user, as a mentor, and as someone who sees the impact every week. My role in school is clear. I am there to build confidence. Confidence in students, confidence in teachers, confidence in staff, confidence across the whole school environment. A student who is not confident may have a device and still not feel powerful. A teacher who is not confident may care deeply and still avoid using AAC. A school that is not confident may say it believes in inclusion, but still leave AAC users waiting to be properly heard. That is why the work has to go deeper than the device. It has to change the culture, the expectations, and the way adults see AAC users. Low expectations can look very polite from the outside, but they can destroy confidence from the inside. Sometimes low expectations sound like kindness. Let's not put pressure on them. Maybe that is too hard. They might not understand. We will answer for them. But every time we lower the expectation before giving the student a real chance, we are not protecting them. We are limiting them, and I refuse to accept that. Physically, I am limited, but mentally, I am limitless. At Limitless Minds Group, we believe everyone deserves to be heard before they are judged. That is not just a sentence for me, that is the standard. At Charlton Park Academy, the problem was not that staff did not care. They did care, but caring is not always enough. You can care about AAC users and still feel unsure. You can care about AAC users and still be afraid of using the device. You can care about AAC users and still see AAC as specialist equipment instead of the student's voice. That is why the goal is not to blame teachers or staff. The goal is to build them, to help them create communication opportunities every day. Not only when a specialist is in the room, not only during a communication session, but in real school life, in lessons, choices, discussions, friendships, and moments where the student has something to say, but the room has to be patient enough to hear it. That is where culture changes. So what did we do? To be honest, all of it and beyond. We modeled AAC use in class. We showed staff how to wait and give students time. We encouraged students to answer questions in lessons. We helped staff become less afraid of getting AAC wrong. We gave students confidence, leadership and belief, not just support. And most importantly, we kept showing up, because culture does not change because of one good session. Culture changes when people stay consistent, week after week, lesson after lesson, student after student. That is what Catherine, Claire and I have been building. Not just sessions, a standard, a culture, a belief system. Because the real goal is not just for students to use AAC when I'm in the room. The real goal is for AAC users to be heard when I'm not in the room. That is the test. If a student only gets communication opportunities when the specialist arrives, that is not inclusion. That is dependency. Real inclusion is when communication access becomes part of the environment. Real inclusion is when staff feel confident enough to support AAC naturally. Real inclusion is when the student is expected to answer, join, choose, question, disagree, laugh, lead, and be part of school life. And I have seen the change. Teachers and staff are now less afraid of using AAC. They understand that AAC is the student's voice, not just school equipment. And most importantly, they have higher expectations of AAC users. That is powerful because when staff raise their expectations, students rise with them. When adults believe the student has something to say, they wait for the voice instead of rushing past it. That is when inclusion becomes real. The impact on students has been powerful. I have seen students become more confident answering questions. I have seen students become more confident joining lessons. And absolutely, I have seen students start to believe in themselves more. That is the biggest result for me. Because AAC is not only about communication, AAC is about identity. It is about a student realizing, I have something to say. It is about a student understanding, my opinion matters. It is about a student feeling, I belong in this classroom too. When a student answers a question using AAC, that is not small. That is confidence coming alive. A few years ago, I was teaching a class and I saw a very young student. Something happened inside me. I saw myself in him. I saw potential. I saw intelligence. I saw a future. So I asked Catherine, can I have one-to-one sessions with him? Honestly, that was one of the greatest decisions I have made professionally. Because over time, he proved his potential. He proved it to the staff, the school, to me, and maybe most importantly, to himself. I cannot be more proud of him. One thing I love about him is that he loves to joke. That matters, because humor is not small. Joking is communication. Joking is confidence. Joking is personality. One time, he even controlled my Alexa device remotely. Now, when an AAC student starts controlling your Alexa, you know confidence is growing. But seriously, that moment showed me something important. He was not just using communication to answer questions. He was using communication to have fun, to be cheeky, to connect, to show personality, and to take control of the environment around him. Sometimes people reduce AAC to basic needs: food, drink, toilet, pain. Yes, those things matter, but AAC is bigger than survival. AAC is expression, humor, choice, friendship, learning, independence, personality, and power. AAC users are not projects. We are people. This is personal for me. When I was younger, I did not have an AAC mentor. I did not have someone using AAC who I could look at and think, if he can do it, maybe I can do it too. I did not have that guidance. So now, when I sit with my students, I understand the responsibility. I am not just teaching them communication. I am showing them possibility. I am showing them that an AAC user can grow, lead, dream, be confident, and be powerful. I cannot go back and give younger Abdi the AAC mentor he needed, but I can become that mentor for the next generation, and that is bigger than a job. That is legacy. I also want to talk about Catherine and Claire, because this work did not happen because of me alone. Catherine and Claire always believed in the students. They understand that augmentative and alternative communication is not a tool, it is their voice. When adults see AAC as equipment, they focus on the device. But when adults see AAC as a voice, they focus on the person. Catherine and Claire did not give up because they knew the result could change the whole culture of Charlton Park Academy. Without them, I could not do what I do in the school. They believed in me. They trusted me. They allowed me to run my classes in the way I know works. When people trust me to lead in my own way, they are saying my lived experience has value. They are saying my leadership matters. They are saying AAC users should not only be supported, AAC users should also be leading the work. That is the future I believe in. A future where AAC users are not just included in the room. We are helping shape the room. A future where teachers and staff are confident enough to create communication opportunities every day. A future where AAC users are expected to learn, answer, question, disagree, joke, lead and dream. Charlton Park Academy shows what is possible when people do not give up. It shows what happens when leaders believe, staff become confident and AAC users are given the space, time, belief and expectation to rise. But this message is bigger than one school. AAC users do not lack potential. They need belief, access, consistency, and adults who are not afraid of their communication. Because when staff believe in AAC, students start believing in themselves. And when students believe in themselves, they become more confident, more involved, and more independent. They start to see their future differently. That is the real impact. That is why I do this work. AAC is not a tool. AAC is their voice. And every student deserves to be heard before they are judged. You can be part of the system that limits people, or you can be part of the movement that unlocks them. Choose carefully, because your title will not make you great. Your degree will not make you great. Your job role will not make you great. What will make you great is the standard you bring when nobody is watching. The patience you show when communication takes time. The respect you give when someone moves differently. The belief you carry when society has already made assumptions. The courage you have to challenge low expectations. That is what people will remember. Not just what you knew, but how you made them feel. Did you make them feel small? Or did you make them feel powerful? Did you make them feel like a problem? Or did you make them feel like a person? Did you make them feel limited? Or did you help them become limitless? I want my life to be proof that disabled people are not limited. We are underestimated. I want Limitless Minds Group to be proof that lived experience can become leadership. I want my work with CENMAC to be proof that when AAC users are supported properly, their confidence can grow, their voices can rise, and their futures can change. And I want your future work to prove that too. So when you work with disabled people, do not just support them, see them, hear them, challenge them, believe in them, respect their voice, raise the standard. Because one conversation can change confidence, one professional can change direction, one belief can change a future, and one voice, even through AAC, can change the world. Thank you.